Hello, I'm Frédéric from Let Them Eat Cake, and welcome back to the Coffee Break series, where I focus on the 2-bite pastries that are traditionally served with a cup of coffee or tea in France. I'm talking about the madeleines, the financiers, the Congolese, the diamonds. The list is so long. Today I'm going to show you how to make the Palais Breton, which are a traditional salted butter cookie from the area of Brittany. The Palais was created in the 17th century, and its shape was modeled after the flat cylindrical metallic pieces of the game of Palais, which was an ancestral game played very much like a game of basketballs of pétanque. It is said that it was introduced in the late 1600s to the court of Louis XIV. At that time, the brother of the king, the Duke of Orleans, took such a shine on those little cookies that he instructed the first superstar chef, Vatel, to always have it on the table. And those little cookies became very famous from that time on. If the financiers, like I showed you on a previous video, if the financiers are the perfect vessel to use leftover egg whites, well, the Palais Breton are the perfect way to use leftover egg yolks. They are extremely easy to make, extremely quick, so let's get started. For 8 to 12 cookies, depending on the type of mold you're gonna use, you're gonna need 2 egg yolks, 80 grams of sugar, 100 grams of softened good quality salted butter. If you want, you can use good quality sweetened butter. However, you will need 2 big pinches of very good salt. You will also need 130 grams of all-purpose flour and 11 grams of baking powder. As usual, the conversions will be posted on the screen. Let's start with the dough. Nothing simpler than this. You're going to take your egg yolks and put everything in a bowl, along with the sugar. Now, either you will use a hand whisk, or if you're like me and have no patience, use a electric whisk and mix the egg yolks and the sugar. At first it is quite thick, and in a few seconds it's going to get liquid and pale in color. Done. So now that the egg yolks and sugar are ready, I've added the butter, the softened butter. As you can see, it is in small pieces. It's easier to mix. And I'm going to mix everything together. It's now incorporated. It's done. I'm going now to take the flour. The baking powder I'm going to add to the flour and quickly mix it with whatever you want. And I'm going to add the flour to the mix in the bowl. And using a spatula, I'm going to fold the mixture until you get a batter. That will take maybe 2 minutes. You have now a mix that is quite sandy. I'm going to use my fingers a little bit to finish putting it together. Doesn't take long. That being done, I'm going to take a piece of parchment paper and put on it the dough. Going to press it a little bit so that I'm sure it sticks together, and it's done. What you need to do now is take another piece of parchment paper, take a rolling pin and roll the dough between the paper, the sheets of paper, to a thickness of roughly a little less than a centimeter, a little less than half an inch. Let me see if it's even in there. One little more roll and it's done. The dough is ready. I'm going to put this dough for 1 hour in the fridge. It needs to be nice and cold before we can take the second step. The dough is now ready to cut. It rested for an hour in the fridge. Now, as far as molds, traditionally they are baked in rings, but again, it's not really convenient here. So what I'm used to is use muffin molds. Regular muffins. I like these because they have straight walls. However, if you just have regular muffin molds, it's perfectly fine. So using a cookie cutter or a small glass, anything that is at the size of your mold, you're going to cut the dough. Let's see how many I can make this time. Okay, I've just made 8, which is perfect for my mold. I will roll out the leftovers afterwards and I'll do a second batch. All I need to do is put the dough at the bottom of the muffin tin. The reason you need to use a mold like this is that because there is so much butter in the cookie, is that if it doesn't have something to hold the cookie together, it's going to start melting and spreading all over your cookie sheet. This is done. I hope you can see what it looks like here. So I preheated the oven at 350 Fahrenheit, which is 180 Celsius on traditional heat. If you have convection heat, then in that case it's 170 Celsius, 330 Fahrenheit. We're going to put the cookies for between 15 and 20 minutes. As usual, you see, it's ready for us. After about 12 minutes, start checking on the cookies. They should be golden brown, really a nice golden color, and that's the sign that they are ready. So here they are, they baked for 15 minutes. I let them rest and cool in the mold. Do not try to unmold them before that. They're going to be too soft. They have rested for about 20 minutes. So all I have to do now is take a board, flip them over, and they're coming right out. Look at those little things. So here you have the Palais Breton. They are extremely flaky and buttery with that little salty aftertaste, which is really delightful. Like this, just as they are, they're wonderful with a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. They're also wonderful with some ice cream. One of my favorite is actually to put some marinated strawberries and whipped cream, and you have this on the side, and it is a pure delight. So try it, post your photos, post your comments, your questions. If you like this video, subscribe and press on that little thumb. In the meantime, bon appétit, à bientôt.